Welcome, Sketchbook Heroes and Sketchbook Warriors. We're going to do a lot of basic stuff, but we're going to go through it pretty quickly. We'll be letting you know where the resources are. So we're going to start off with some flowers and kind of take you through this journey real quick. All right, we're starting a little earlier, but we did take some questions. Let's share my screen. Here we go. Let's do this. We're going to start off with some flowers tonight. There we go. Here we go. Now, really, this was actually last week's drawing, but what I like about it is here, this is really complex. And this is, somebody just shared their drawings right now. And what's really great, it's just like doing this here, just drawing. Let me get my tools here. Here we go. And you're looking at these big shapes right here, right? Seeing these big shapes and blocking everything in. Now, once you see those big shapes, you can try to get the feel of it, but getting the feel of the small shapes, like here, these could be like palm trees, as they were trying to capture palm trees. And this detail here it takes a little more observing. And sometimes when you're trying to capture something really fast, it's really trying to capture that balance and moving in and out from big shapes to small shapes to medium-sized shapes, actually from big to medium to small and back and forth. You want to be able to do that. So here, this is already kind of broken down into kind of middle-sized shapes. There's actually bigger shapes here. If you want to try to get a little more accurate on how all this is drawn together, I can actually draw lines like this and capture this kind of shape, this shape here. Even this shape here, this is almost like a square right there with that, and with this sticking out right here. Actually, ooh, look at that right there, that triangle. That's almost vertical right there. And that kind of helps seeing this and being able to see that. Now, look at the detail. If you just look at the detail, that will get you confused. So you have to learn how to kind of focus back and forth. And you can see here in this drawing over here, they focus on the big shape, and then they start breaking that down into smaller shapes to the detail. And that's the process. That's the process. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's put this in the chat. You can see it broken down here already. And go ahead and put this in the chat. Pencil recommendations, noob. Any pencil works, really, anything. You really want to just practice drawing. When you're first drawing, you don't worry about shading, you don't worry about anything. You're really worrying about, and that's great. You're the perfect day today. We're really going to go over some noob stuff and go over just after this drawing, actually, because we're starting a little early. So I'll go over some noob stuff right after this drawing. This is kind of like an intermediate drawing, so don't get too panicky here. I'll go over some beginner stuff, but I'm going to go over the beginner stuff a little fast because we've been doing a lot of beginner stuff. So bear with us. It's a patience, and you'll see. I'm going to show my website what I'm working on. I added a couple of resources to our Sketchbook Hero website. So capture that and let's send it in. Let's do this flower real quick, just as a quick warm up. Let's do this. All right, here we go. And we have questions too. We have quite a few questions. Flowers was one of them, and we're going to start off with flowers. We'll start off with flowers. That was funny. Oh, these are from Tuesday's class. We did some caricatures. Oh, upside down. There we go. Show off real quick some of our caricatures. Probably little things. My drawing is more. I work on more. I need practice with my caricature drawings, but I can kind of do them. But I know I need more practice. It's not one of my strengths, but I know if I practice at it, I know I can improve on it. All right, so we're going to start off with that shape that, okay, it's an oval shape and there's a slight angle to it. So I'm just going to oval it in. And I'm just using a number 2, not even it's a regular number 2 pencil. You can use anything. Now we're looking at, when you're first starting, looking at the ratios, the height compared to the width. And I can already see that this one is longer. My ratio is longer than the actual one that's there. So I would probably have to try to cut it or make it bigger this way. Let's make it bigger. I've been drawing too small. So we're going to make it bigger just by adding to it. Try to draw without erasing. You really want to practice your drawing and not your erasing. And just and this is really sketching. We're really sketching this thing out. And here we go. There's that shape. And here's my axis lines. which is the minor axis, and the major axis, the longer one. And then we have the, now this is like a circle, and this circle shape is like right below the middle, a little bit on it, right below it, and it's a circle shape, and I can see how big it is and how it fits in here. You can see it's almost like another circle shape below, definitely more above, but yeah, let's make it a little bigger. See, I just add it, like if it was a piece of clay, I can just add to it, and that can become part of the drawing itself, right? So practice your drawing. All right, let's break this down into further pieces like they do in the drawing. You can actually see off of this axis line, you can actually put, just by putting lines, where the petals are going to be. We have one petal going out this way, one petal here. Thank you, Kate, for doing this. She's the one that actually designed this. This flower here. This one's kind of coming out right about there. And then you've got one coming out right about there. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Don't confuse this axis line. 4. And we got 5 right here, and then 6. And this is almost kind of like seeing the big shapes as well, just by doing these lines. This is where kind of saying where the petals are going to be, right in there. And what's happening here is actually, this is intermediate because this is already getting to form. This is a like a circle in space. Oh, I didn't draw my other ones. That's okay. I'll do those really quick. We're just doing one at a time. And the really nice watercolor painting that's done from this. And then there's one more, but that's like a triangle shape right in here. So everything's made up of shapes, and learning to see the shapes and learning to see how the shapes fit. And it's like a puzzle. From shapes, we go to form. Today, we'll be talking about form. We'll be going into form. And then we're going to go into perspective. We're going to go into perspective. And it's good. Some people have been struggling with perspective. Perspective is a year-long course, can be in school. But here we go. Here's some overlapping, how this little leaf, kind of like a triangle, overlaps there. I'm going to go ahead and start just drawing them in. Let's see. Let's start with the furthest one. That's this one here, kind of going out at this angle. I'm going to go from here. Let's see. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. And it goes out and opens up, and then it closes back down right on here. It attaches itself to that circle shape. That oh, there's a name for it. I forgot. Somebody looked it up one time. There we go. And it's yeah, it goes open and then it closes. There's that shape here. Let's do the next one. Looks like it's this one's behind it a little bit. Behind, so there's a little bit of overlapping. And coming over here, and this one is actually going to be on top of the next shape there. And here's our little thing in the middle. Now here's where overlapping happens. And this is how artists create space. So this next petal is behind this petal, and then it goes up, and then it comes down here. That's about it right there. That's good. Right in there, that shape. We're keeping that oval shape, which is a circle. If you were to look straight down on this petal, you would see it's more like a circle, but because it's tilted in space, it turns into an oval like this. It turns into an oval because it's tilted. But if you're looking straight down on it, it's a circle, but as it's tilted, it turns into an oval shape. And that's what's happening here. That's that oval shape. All right, let's get the next petal. The next petal is on top as well, and it's also twisted. It's between these two petals. These two petals, little zuzu petals. We're gonna and it curves. It's a little bit of a complex shape. It's not that simple, but I'm gonna try to simplify it. It kind of goes like this. It's almost like a teardrop or a drop shape with a little point on it, and then on this side it curves. So you would add that little curve on it like that. There we go. The petal is curving. There we go. There's that shape. And then this shape here, it probably opens up a little bit more, and it probably would have gone down a little bit more as well. It's all good. It's not exactly the way it like. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, because it goes down a little bit more. But here we go. And I'm rounding it out a little bit more as well. This triangle shape that was here before, making it even more complex by adding this little shapes. But you want to see the simple to complex shapes. There we go. That's that petal. It's totally turned around. It even has a little bit of lines on it as it turns around there. And then here, yeah, I would probably erase it a little bit. Let me see, where's my eraser? If I don't see it right now, we can leave it alone. Leave it alone for now. Oh, here's a, nope, that's not it. All right, it's good to have your tools at your side. But, I don't like using this eraser. All right, I'll just keep going. So the next petal also curves. So that's kind of a little bit of a challenge. It comes out, and these shapes are a little more complex. The next set of resources I'll show you are a lot simpler. We'll jump into those, especially those of you who are noobs, brand new, absolute beginners. Well, it'll help you because everything's made up of shapes, and then from shapes we go into form. All right, so here's this petal that turns. It has a little bit of a curve to it, and I'm going right there. Let's bring it up a little bit more and have a little bit of texture. You're getting these little, even more detail on that petal and how it comes down, and there's a thickness to it. There we go, like that. I probably could have said, okay, here's another teardrop, and then with little details on it. See, so the mama shape, this would be the mama shape, because the big shape is the papa shape. That's the big papa shape. Then you have the mama shapes. Then you have the baby shapes, these little baby details. But the mama shape is the shape here. It looks like this shape. This is one. It's like a tear shape, like that, just like that. And then the little detail on it is what you should be able to kind of like there. You can see how I just added like the little details, little bumps on the road, little baby shapes. That gives it more character, but you want to keep that larger shape too as well, so you don't lose that form. All right, let's do that. Let's finish this up. This petal here has also a little dip in it on this side. Brings it over. And then this is the last petal here. And I think, wow, I'm gonna have to make it a little bit wider because it looks like my spacing is probably off a little bit. That's okay, it goes in here. I don't want to add another petal, but it should kind of go here to a point and then come back here. There we go, right in there. Maybe thicken this one up a little bit. And then now the detail, the little details, the real small details. Let me see what I can do about that eraser because I want to, here it is. There we go. I want to erase this. This is a kneaded eraser. And again, this is just practice. So you should have a sketchbook where you're just practicing. See, that goes over that shape. And then I can, if I really wanted to erase that, but here we go. Then you've got the little details, the little kind of the petal. I'm just kind of putting little lines on it really lightly. When you're first drawing, you're really trying to capture the structure of stuff, the shape of stuff, and then the form of stuff. I did go see a beginning drawing class this weekend at Occidental College, and he did what I say not to do. There's a difference between shape and form, and the teacher was saying shape but he meant form. So there is a difference. Shapes are flat, form is three-dimensional. There's a difference, but it's all good. It was just an intro class. There's the stem. I did the stem, and then there's little bits of not. Yeah, I guess would be kind of like leaves, but actually I'm sure they have another name because these really aren't the leaves. It's where the flower was before it kind of opened up. These little green things in the bud of the flower before it opens up. I guess it's too little. Right in there, just added that. The thickness of line, the darkness of line in here, it's the way it's going around here. The little, I would say the little detail or the little, I don't know, I'm sure it has a name. It goes kind of around in that circle. It's pretty dark. I'm trying to get it to go in there, but it's kind of going around, especially right at the ends. There. Maybe put some a little bit overlapping. I'll tighten it up around the edges. That way it makes it look rounder. There we go. A little bit of shading too, maybe. All right.
What did I miss? I don't see a picture posted in the chat.
Oh, you don't. All right, I'll post it again. Oh, did somebody post it? No, that's me. Here we go. It's in so when you upload it. Here, let me see.
We're doing one for Joshua, aren't we? Doing a Logan
yes,
logo?
yes.
Oh.
Is he here?
I was just gonna look.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I saw the Disney one. I wanted to do that one first too, yeah, because he'd been waiting.
Right. No, he doesn't seem to be here.
All right. Okay. There it is. All right, so I put it there, and then I'll put the other one again. All right, so oh, where's the one that was here before? Oh, I lost it. Okay, so now getting all the flowers there, I could see that there was one that was there, right? There's one here. Now this is just gonna be really quick just to show you how it blocks stuff in. There's that flower there. There's the other one is right about here. These are the kind of medium-sized shapes. And now I can go from the medium-sized shapes to the big-sized shapes. The really big shapes, like seeing this, the relationship of these medium-sized, which is just the flowers, and kind of where they go in relation to each other. Right, because here's that kind of that square I kind of mentioned, and then here's that triangle, right? I can see that I mentioned earlier, right? And then everything else that kind of goes in there. Then I can, like a puzzle, just start putting it together, seeing how all these parts fit, being able to go from big shapes to middle-sized shapes to detail and back and forth. But you really want to start with big shapes first, kind of see the big shapes, and then do the little shapes. And it does take practice. It does take practice. Now here, this is a form. I'll just do this one little flower here, and then I'll do a palm tree real quick, just because that was brought up. This is a form. This is really just like a half of a sphere. So a sphere is a ball, which is 3D, three-dimensional. A sphere is a form. And then this ball is cut in half. So you see that oval. And then in that oval, these are cross-section lines, which kind of have the cross-section of that, kind of like on a globe. On a globe, these are the because you have the lines going one way, which are the I know I have it in my mind, and I know it, but I'd have to access it in a different way. I'll get it right now. Prime, you have your prime meridian, and you have your the other lines, the horizon line, the horizon, the equator, the equator. All right, we'll get to it right now. So then yeah, these petals just kind of go around in that that kind of direction, like here you can see that in that direction, and this curves this way, that way, and this would be petals. And I like the way they use value, because these petals here are darker. The ones that are closer in the front are darker, and then the ones back here are lighter. So they're using value. Really beautiful watercolor drawing of these. I don't know what kind of flowers they are, but really nice. All right, so this is the same way I would do a palm tree. So let me really quickly find a palm tree and show you how I would do that. Because you can get frustrated with the detail, right? So you almost have to focus on it. So let's see, let me find a good palm tree. Videos. Let's see. There we go, that's a drawing. Nope. I want a picture.
Ooh.
There we go. Oh, that's a good one. Let's try something a little more real.
Are you showing something
No,
besides the
I can share my
Oh,
screen.
okay.
Good question though, but I'm looking for a palm tree right now, real quick. These are actually pretty nice right in here. There we go. Let's do that one. Let's see what happens, how big it is. All right, so I'm gonna kind of just give you an idea of in here. What's happening is, and this is not that clear either as I would have liked, but it's once you get the big shape, it's the little shapes and getting that feel. I think you were sometimes because there's so much detail, and I've felt this before, where you just want to scribble it all in, and that'll work for some of it, but other stuff you're gonna really have to observe and capture that to really capture the feel of it. And you can see how other artists have done it. But oh yeah, here we go. Let me see this one. This one. Oh yeah, look at these, and really capture the feel, and maybe even observe if you've never drawn palm trees before, because that's a good way of the way you had done it. But let me see. I like that tree there. Ah, here we go. The palm fronds. Yeah, these look right here. You can see the way they're structured too. This is a good picture. Let me just okay. I'll do that one real quick. So let me put that in the chat. I do get frustrated with detail. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see that, and especially when you're rushed, you can get frustrated with the detail. It can get so breaking it down and sometimes slowing down, and sometimes not. Sometimes you can say, okay, here's like here. Let me go to a fresh page. I can say from the I can say that's one frond right there, and then here's another one, and then here's another one, right? And then this is where you really need to kind of sometimes observe, or you can just keep it like that. Just scribble it in. So it really depends. Sometimes how much time you have, and you're doing it in your sketchbook and you're just observing, you can see that all the lines kind of come out from a center point here, and then seeing how they actually thicken up and then come down. And sometimes you do need to slow down. You do need to slow down to kind of see and observe and get the feel of it, especially at first. And then afterwards, you get better and you can actually speed up. You can actually speed up your drawing. But yeah, seeing that big shape first, just like that, and then you can see that palm little frond kind of going that way, and then the spacing of it, and like you said, like the getting the feel of it, yeah, like the spacing and the feel of that palm tree. Yes, and sometimes hey, you have to choose your battles, especially with something like this. There's so much detail. Like, okay, I'm not going to draw every little bit, but you can do that. Or if you see something that interests you, like really me, when I was seeing this picture, there's this piece that's actually right over it, the overlapping, and then the way these pieces actually come over, just a few pieces. There's one that, and then it opens up. There's one piece right there, and another piece. There we go, and then it opens up, and I can actually, just like I did the flower, just see kind of like center lines or putting the direction of them, and then I can see how they're open. They're kind of the spacing of these palm trees, because then it comes, another piece comes down this way, and then there was these that were underneath this one, so there's overlapping of these palm tree fronds. I think they're called fronds, pretty sure they are. And there was another one underneath here, but you can't, that hopefully that kind of helps. That helps. Yeah, because sometimes you just feel like you want to scribble it in, and sometimes you can just you can focus on one where you get the detail here, and then another one just hey, just scribble it in. Nobody's going to know, especially when you have you don't want everything detailed as well. You're just observing and looking. So that's the tip. That's the tip for that. All right, let's go to absolute beginners. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't share.
If I may, this is actually, pardon the interruption, but this is helpful. There's no, I mean, what I'm trying to emulate right there is definitely not comparing to that, but what I am seeing very clearly, as you mentioned, the fronds, the leaves are radiating from a central point, and I think that's what my main problem was before, was because the lines with what I was practicing before were much more parallel than converging, and I'm seeing the difference.
Right. Yeah. And that'll get it a little bit better. There you go. And you can see this too. I scribbled it in, but here I'm kind of fixing it up. And yeah, you got to choose your battles. You got to choose, especially when there's so much to draw and there's so much to see and you're observing. All right, let's get back to share my screen. We're going to go absolute beginner here. Let's go to our website. We're going to go to our website. Our website is at sketchbookhero.com. Let's do that. It will come together. It will one day. So here we go. Let's go to sketchbookhero.com. This is our website. There's videos here, connections here. And if you want to sign up for our community, he's right here. Sketchbook Heroes and Warriors Facebook group is there. You can post your pictures and I post the videos there as well. Drawing course coming soon. And then the drawing book, I'm still hoping for January 2024. But this summer, I'm really going to focus on putting videos here. So there's the all this stuff that holds you back, and hopefully you can set like habits and being curious and asking questions, all this stuff. If you're good at it, then your drawing is going to be good. If you're curious and you want to draw, you don't have to worry about this. But if you just have any of these, if you don't have a purpose, you don't have this, any of these things will stop you. So like, that doesn't mean that, So we're going to start with line. We've kind of like, and this is kind of like practicing, but we jump to shape here. Shape is the most important. Actually, well, line is important. You can't draw shapes without lines. But for the absolute beginner, we have Board Panda. So if you go to click on Board Panda right there, it takes you to here. And these are, everything's made up of shapes. You can see absolute beginner shapes, the square, the triangle, and the circle. And Board Panda is the website that these pages are at. And it was put together by the Light of Hope, which had a great mission statement of actually, helping people. But I tried looking for this organization and couldn't get a hold of them. But see, here you go, a square, a triangle, and a circle, and you have birds. A square, a triangle, and a circle, and you have more birds, but specifically an owl, owls. And then you have a penguin, more birds. Here you go, out of a square, triangle, and a circle. And then more shapes here, an angry bird, square, triangle. And you can go there to our website. Our website has the link. I'm not going to draw all these tonight. I have drawn them in the past. But we are moving away from beginner, especially as I get my beginner stuff here going. So that's here, Board Panda, Light of Hope, on our webpage, sketchbookhero.com webpage. Also here, learning to draw. This video is really good. Let's see. Oh, here it is. It's over here, learning to draw. It has all these shapes, and he talks about drawing from shapes. And I just did this quick search and I put it on there. You can see all these. These are really good to get going. You got circle shapes, and he talks about that. Talks about drawing from shapes, just like I do. You can see he's drawing here with shapes, and then you can actually go and make it more complex. You see, he outlined that shape, but there's a square and a circle there, and a triangle, and he's making that. I don't know. Is he making a bird as well? He's making some kind of character. Yeah, there you go. He talks about it. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good little video. There's a lot of stuff on there, but that's where you want to go. And the next level, which is we're going to do right now, we're going to do form, because that was one of our questions at 7:08 right now. 7:08 is form. That's the next one level here, form. So we're going to talk a little bit about form, but yeah, you also need to practice, for those of you who are beginners, ratios, angles, and proportions. That's all part of shape, and it's also part of form. So we'll jump into that. Let's jump into that. Let's jump into that with, I don't know, is Josh here? Josh is not here yet. All right, so that was last week's drawing. Let's jump into one of our ones from this week. Ooh, those are neat. Form, actually, we can jump straight into the house, I guess, because we're talking about form. Let's go into here because somebody had some challenges with perspective. So let's do this little farmhouse here with perspective. All right, so there's 5 basic forms, right? And this is actually let's go into this 5 basic forms. So before we draw this little house, we're going to talk about the 5 basic forms, and then draw them and how to draw them, and then we'll get into the cube, because that's what this is. And cubes are everywhere. Cubes are everywhere. So let's take a look at this. This is intermediate. Don't get discouraged. I went over some beginner stuff. So the class that I had went to, they actually started here for beginners. So I was like, I cringed a little bit, but it's all good. He was a really good teacher though. I have a sketch. I did a sketch of him. I didn't keep it. All right, there it is. It's in the chat. Let's stop sharing. Let's jump into the shapes real quick. The forms. All right, so there's 5 basic forms. The easiest to draw is the sphere, but it's the hardest to shade because that's where shading comes in. A sphere, no matter where you move it around, it's going to be round. It's going to be round. So it's a sphere. A sphere is round. So that's it. You move it around, it's always going to be a circle. So that's the easiest one to draw because it's always the same. It's always a circle, right? So here, and I can see that, just sketch it out. And here's the circle that I like. I can see it in there. I can trace it darker if I wanted to go in there, but it's the hardest one to shade. So we won't talk about shading. We're going to just talk about drawing them. Then the next one, the most popular is the cube. Now the cube, there's several ways to draw it, but it's really about angles. And what I look for in the cube is, let's see, ooh, where's my cubes? Oh, I do have cubes. Let me see. I got toys. There we go. Perfect. Ta-da. There we go. There's a cube. Just in time. And I saw them too. I go like, hey. All right. So interesting about the cube is it changes as it moves around or you move around it. Now, when it's at eye level, you're at eye level, you're looking straight at it. It's square. And this is actually, you can actually do that with other things too. When you're first learning, for you noobs, you can put things into shapes like this. This is really complex, but if you're looking at it straight, you can see triangles and you can see it's easier to draw this way. But once you start changing the angles like this, then this is a little bit harder to draw. But when you're first starting, just draw this way, simplify things, simplify it till you get it. And you're looking at proportions and seeing how all these shapes fit, right? It's almost into thirds, although this is bottom third is bigger. These two, this actually gets smaller as it goes up. But looking at those proportions and those ratios, that's what's going to help you practice and improve. And when you get to 3D form. So here we go, the cube. Straight on, it's a square. And then as you turn down, you can actually see 2 sides, right? And then one side is going back into space, and that's where perspective comes in. And that's where angles comes in. So we use wrap to draw ratios. It has the same height, same width. And then angles, wrap to draw angles is A, and you got to see the angles, really got to see the angles. And that's where perspective helps, understanding, having a little basic understanding of perspective, which we're going to do right now. And then proportions and placement. So proportions is how big something is compared to something else. So here we go. We're going to draw this. Usually have the side one side that's closest to us. And let me see, let's do that right here. Okay, so draw this straight up and down. And it's all about the angles. It's all about the angles. When you're here, you can only see actually the most, like a dice has 6 sides. You roll a dice, has 6 sides. But the most you can see is 3. The least is 1. Then you can see 2 or 3. You can't see 4 sides unless you talk to Picasso. And that's what cubism is about. And you have a cube. And he wants to see the whole cube, right? Seeing beyond what's there. That's why you get those weird drawings, because that's where we start entering the artist starts entering the mind instead of observation. But what's in the mind. Really interesting thoughts. You might not like the artwork, but it has to do more with thinking than what you like. And a lot of people, I don't like that, or my son or my daughter could have drawn that. Anyways, okay, here we go. I'm going off on a tangent. Here we go. So here's our vertical line, right? And then we have 2 angles. This is the Y, this angle here and this angle here. Now these angles would go to a vanishing point. They would go to a vanishing point, these 2 here. But when you're first learning to draw, you've got to learn to see the angles. And those are the 3 angles. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and draw these 2 angles down. So it looks like the letter M, There we go. See the letter M. This point is the point that's closest to us, or actually this whole line is closest to us. It depends. Really depends. It's really interesting. We won't get into some crazy theories that have been going into my head, but it's really wild. Like this point would be the closest point to us that fits like on this table. All right. So here we go. This angle here, because the biggest problem I have my students would do, they would flatten the bottom out. Don't do that. This goes up, right? This line's going up. So this line here should at least go in parallel. It should be going parallel or at least going to a vanishing point where these two lines would meet somewhere really far. Really, actually pretty far. There we go. And that's perspective where things, because as things go back in space, they get smaller. I mean, just even in this space, you can see this hand looks bigger and this one looks smaller because it's closer, right? You can do that. And that's one of the ways artists create space pods. See, and then I don't have to mention it over and over. We have a video that would describe all that. So look at our space pods video. So we got this angle that way, this angle that way. And then, so this angle and this angle are parallel. They should kind of be at least parallel or going back into space and getting closer together. And this line here going that way and that line are parallel. Now, the next parallel lines are the ones that are on top. Don't go straight across. That's also been done in my class. And that's okay, but learn from it. So this angle is going that way, this angle is going that way, and this one should also be going back in that same direction or to a vanishing point, which I'll talk about the vanishing point next after I draw the 5 forms. That's going in those directions. And then this is going that direction, and then this one is going in that direction as well. So we have these 3, 1, 2, 3 going in that direction, these 3 going back in this direction, 1, 2, 3, and then we have these 3, the vertical ones as well, going straight up and down, 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 lines in those 3 directions. Now, you'll see what the teacher did actually. He drew, he says, what is it? Name something, because everybody knows boxes. Boxes are everywhere. You start off with a box, a cereal box, or you can't get out of your bed in a box. Your room is a box. Your car, drive a car is like a box. So somebody name an object that's kind of like a box shape. Somebody put it in the chat or say it out loud.
A brownie.
A brownie. Okay, there you go. So the brownie has nuts, right? Then I don't know. Let me see. Maybe it's a little bit tapered at the top or has that little texture. See, and then here's the brownie, and then you would shade it. Definitely like nuts, and I think it might have like, I don't know. Ooh, fudge brownie. I was in Solvang yesterday. So.
A trash can.
A trash can. Okay, there we go. A trash can. And you can have a trash can, and it's same thing. It's those angles, but I'm stretching it out this time.
I don't put nuts in my brownies.
You don't? Oh. And on this trash can, I'm putting a plastic bag. There we go. Then the inside of the trash can and maybe some trash in it. And, there we go. And sometimes the trash cans taper a little bit. There's a trash can. There we go. How about another one? One more. Well, let's see in the chat. No, nothing in the chat.
A quilt square is square.
A quilt square is square?
Oh, that's not a cube though.
No, it's not. Well, actually, there's probably a little bit of a thickness to it. I mean, but yeah, but it's really thin. Let's see. Well, he had actually a projector. He had a projector, and he started off with a projector, and he had the projector. But that's the next thing. Once you know these shapes and forms, you can actually draw from your imagination. See, I'm drawing this from remembering what a projector kind of looks like, and I can add little details on here. See, everything on this side is going in that direction. So on this side, these lines should kind of be going in that direction. If I have lines on this side, they'll be going in this direction, same as the top and the bottom, kind of going there. And this would be the lens, I guess, of my projector. And then here, this sticks out. Yeah, see that sticks out this way. I would only see that part. This is a cylinder, which is our next shape. next shape for our forms. Cylinder has that. And a cylinder, if you're looking straight down on it, it's a circle. And as you turn it back in space, it turns into an oval. And that's what I drew right there, an oval, right? So if you're looking straight at it, it's a circle. And depends if it's above your eye level or below your eye level, it does change. See, so it's from that's another way it changes. So that's what makes drawing tough, because these forms change in space. But it's the same forms. Once you learn how to draw these 5 basic forms, the cylinder, these 3 especially, these are the 3 main ones, then you can draw just about anything, especially if you can draw the cross section. So you draw the cylinder, do the cross sections. We haven't really talked about cross sections too much, but this is everything on this side on the cylinder. See, if this was a tire, this would be the radial parts, like the radial parts of the tire. They all curve here like that. And if I were to put designs on it, right, they would go up and down on that as it goes around. Same thing on this cube. Let's do some cross sections right there, that way, in that direction. He called it rubber bands, but they were yeah, I call them rubber bands, kind of like you're putting a rubber band on this cube, almost even making it a Rubik's cube. If I would have broken it into thirds, it'd be like a Rubik's cube. That'd be a good example. But this is actually, this would be a Rubik's cube, a 2x2. They're called the 2x2 Rubik's cube. The original Rubik's cube was a 3x3, which means it would have 3 sides. But this is good to know too, because then you can add stuff to this, right? Understanding the form. Like here, for example, like these lines here, these are going in that same direction. Depending on what you're drawing. All right. The other shapes or form is the pyramid and the cone. The pyramid is just all it is, really. The pyramid is just the cube, and you're kind of bringing all these angles to a point right here, to a center point. And it's all about angles here. And there's a square bottom or a triangle bottom, but it's all angles. Trying to see the angles when you're drawing the cubes a little higher. The cube. And then the cone, like an ice cream cone, is the same thing as a cylinder, but you just squeeze the top to get a point, right? It comes to a point, but it's a cone, like an ice cream cone. Or and again, this all depends on the angle, just like the cylinder depends on the angle, what you see there. And that's basically, those are the basic forms. You got to practice those forms, because once you know these, you can draw anything. You can actually draw an emergency cone. Here, let's see, an emergency cone, ice cream cone, or like a traffic cone. Here's where your angles kind of come in, seeing those angles and put a little bit of a thickness to it. Right, there's a cone for traffic. This could be, you know, you start using your imagination. And that's it. The only limitations, your imagination. It's the greatest nation. There we go. That's form. That's form. All right. Let's get into perspective, and let's get into drawing this house, drawing this this little nature shading and perspective all in one gloriously simple picture with this this barn house. All right, now there's interesting. There's a slight angle to this. There's a slight angle. So this is really not here we go. We'll just because it goes back in space. As far as a beginning drawing, it's going to be hard because there's a vanishing point that's off our paper. So let me see what we can do about that. There is a slight angle. We'll just do it parallel. Usually when there's a slight angle, just like this, a slight angle, the vanishing point is really far. Let me try to hold my paper, see, flat with the bottom. There's my bottom. There's a slight angle. And then we'll just do all the other lines parallel. Let me see. Bring it down now. There we go. There's a slight angle. This actually would probably start straightening out. All right, there we go. All right. So it's yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, up here it'll be straighter. And it really, this drawing is we're looking down at this house. It's almost like we're on top of a hill. So our eye level, we'll do that as well. straight across our eye level. This is your eye level, where your eye is at. If it's below your eye level, you can see the top, like just here, all this stuff, you can see the top of, you can see the top of all this. It's above, it's below our eye level. But if it was above our eye level, you wouldn't be able to see the top. And usually houses, you can't see the top. So, but we can see the top of these buildings. So they're really kind of like at eye level or below. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna just do these horizontal lines. All right, here we go. Let's see how it looks on our paper. All right, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the front of this building. Now, if you want to do it a quick block in, you can say, okay, here's my building. This is where my big building is going to be. My big building is going to be right about here, and then my little building is going to be right in here. Now, this is a really quick way of blocking in, especially when you're doing perspective. You know, you say, okay, my building's going to be here, my little building's going to be here, because we're doing to do two buildings. All right, so now this building is here. I'm going to get the front. And this should be really light, really light. So you can kind of almost plan where things are going to be. So we already have our bottom line, and you might want to use a ruler for that. And then we have our vertical lines. Our vertical lines are going to be straight up and down. This is going to be the front of this barn. I don't know what it is. It's I don't even know what that structure is. It's not really a barn, but we'll get this here. Now I am stopping at this line that's up here, right up there. See that line? And then the horizon line up there. I'm going to stop there. There's a slight angle. If you do it straight, that's actually fine. If these lines are all straight, that's okay. I don't want to confuse you. If you want to simplify, simplify it. Once you understand there would be a 2-point perspective, we're going to make this into a 1-point perspective. So somewhat a cheesy 1-point perspective, because it's kind of like a 1.5, because these lines would probably go back in a space, back in here, but they would still go to the vanishing point. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right. So there's our rectangle. If you just draw a rectangle, that would be fine. I am sorry if I'm making it more confusing than it has to be. All right, so we're going to go down the middle. This would be the axis line. We're going to bring this as a roof. This is going to be our roof here, and then the roof on this side. And this should also kind of line up in there as well. So we're getting this shape here. And then we're going to put this kind of shape. Square, and then a triangle on top. All right, there we go. That's the shape we want. Got it. So this side of the building is facing us. It's facing us. It's facing us, or we're facing this building here. And that's all it is. It's angles. And these lines could be going straight up and down. And then these, and if you use a ruler, that would be great. That would be great. There we go. Then we have another building over here. I'm not going to worry about that building yet. Let's get our vanishing point in. Let's get our vanishing point in. Let's go all the way on our horizon line. Let's pick one of these lines up here. Let's see. It looks like it's coming down. So from here, it should kind of come down a little bit. So our horizon line is going to be below this line here, this line right here. So we're going to make this our horizon line, or also it's also our eye level. This is where our eye is at. We're going to make that our eye level right below this one, because that's how it is in the picture. Right in there. So this is our horizon line. All right. Our vanishing point is going to be back here, right at that, as far as we can get it over here. That's going to be our vanishing point. Now, I don't want to lose you here, right? So this is all, it could be square. I know I had a slight angle to it, but don't worry about that. Let's get a straight edge. We need a straight edge. Okay. Let's see, where's my straight edge? I know where my ruler is outside. I have a yardstick. Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. There we go. All right. Okay, so there's my vanishing point. Now, this shape here is facing us, and there's all these corners, but we want the corners that are closest to this side. So we want this corner here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's it. Just these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 point. It just takes 2 points to make a line. These points are going to go to this vanishing point, right? So we need to make sure that they line up. So those are the 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do each point to that vanishing point. It's where everything disappears. There we go. So there's 1. Oh, sorry, I did it too dark. 2. And went too dark. Go a little bit lighter, but I'm gonna go. Just keep it going. 2, 3. And a good tip for a ruler is you put it on you put the ruler on both lines. You check and double check, because I would have students that would put the line, the ruler on 1 point, and then they get to the other point, and then their ruler would move, and then they draw it, and their lines would be crooked. So you got to check and double check when you put your ruler down on the 2 points. There you go. That's it. And then this one down here going up. What's happening is, if this building were a long building, it would look like this. If it was long, really long like that. Long.
But how did you decide that vanishing point was the point?
How? Because, good question. The vanishing point is going to be anywhere on this horizon line. And I chose that one because of the distance. I could actually make it a little bit further out, but I'm out of paper, and you kind of need to do that. So choosing that line really depends on the angle that the object is to you.
Because it goes to the horizon.
Yeah, it goes to the horizon. Yeah, it goes to the horizon. That point is going to be on the horizon, anywhere on the horizon. I could have actually put it over here on this other side. Right. That's a good question. That's a good question. It goes, but it has to be on the horizon line. It has to be on the horizon line. So this is our horizon line right there. And I dropped it down because it was below this. If this horizon line was up, this line here would be going up. And it doesn't go up in the picture. It actually goes down in the picture. So that's why I said your horizon line needs to be lower. That's why this line comes down. All these lines come down. And if there was right on the horizon line, you have a tangent that you want to move that above or below the horizon line, which I did here. And this one's going up right to the horizon line. All right, hopefully you get that. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw that side. Now I can anywhere on this line here. This line here is actually a special line. This line is actually on the ground. This is on the ground. So anywhere on this line, we can, if we want to make this building really thin, we can start here and then just go up and then finish it. But this point right here, let's see how wide we want it. It was here. We can actually bring it out to there. So right about there. Maybe I'll make it a little bit wider. But right here on this point on this line, I'm going to go ahead and go straight up until I hit that next line. So I'm going to go straight up now. Tell me. There we go. Where are you? And just a hit and run. Here we go. There it is, straight up. And then this one should be straight up as well, but it's not. It's okay. Your angles might be off a little bit. Just do the best you can. What's important is the concept. Perspective is simple, but hard. It is very hard to get. But once you get it, it's like, I got it. All right, now this next line is a challenge because it's this angle here. Yeah, there we go. It's this angle here. We want to use a parallel with that angle. Okay, so we want to go in that much. If we bring this ruler over, you can see I can slide it over without changing the angle, because most people will change the angle. Let me give you a warning right here. Don't change this angle. This angle has to be the same. Try to keep it the same. If you want to, you can actually go to this side And then let's see, try to keep that angle. You want to see here and here and here and here. This should be the same angle. One thing to do, let's see, how can we do this? Oh yeah, here we go. Put this paper here. Now if I put this paper on this line, let's see if I can have a colored one. It's parallel. See here, this line and this line is parallel. It looks like it's getting a little bit closer here than there. Oh, here we go. Let's use our sketchbook hero folder. All right, here we go. Let's put that right there on that line. I already did it. And then I put this here on this line. These two lines here should be parallel. They should not touch. They should be going in the same direction. There we go. That same direction. But once it hits this line, the line above it, it stops. Right? So we're going from the bottom up. We're going at that angle. That same angle should be that same angle. This angle and that angle should be the same. It's not vertical. There we go. Now this next line goes vertical because this goes up and down, vertical. Then this next line goes up and down. Goes up and down. And feel free to throw questions in the chat as well, or say them like, wow, I'll do this again. I'll do it again. You know, it is practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the more you'll progress. But here we go. This is straight up and down. This should be straight up and down. So this is the back. So you can see that there. And then now the roof, this angle here should be the same as well. So we're going to bring that same roof angle here, that same angle. Try not to just keep everything coming back till you get to that point right there. That point, boom, right where that line is, and then you bring it back. There it is. Boom. That's it. There's our barn, Barney Miller. Now, this is the structure. We can talk about the windows and the detail, right? Everything on this side is still going to go to that vanishing point. This is sides facing us. All right, the side's facing us. So here we go. Here's the rooftop. I'm going to thicken this up. I'm thickening this line up. I'm thickening that line up because there's a thickness to that roof. And then to the front as well. Just going to add a thickness to it. Bringing it down a little bit. And it would, yeah, we can get fancy and bring it out, stick it out too as well. But I'm trying to keep it simple. Yeah, because I can make that roof kind of like overhang a little bit. But nope. Let's keep it simple. All right. Ready? Let's do the simple part first. Let's do the door, right? Everything on this side should kind of be, and I did say an angle. If you got an angle, that's fine. You know, keep that same angle, but that same angle should kind of be pretty straight. It should kind of like be that straight. Everything on this side, if this whole barn or building was had siding, yeah, if it had siding, all these would be parallel, going in the same direction, like this, sideways, the siding, right? It would all go in that direction. The trick is this side, right? It's all the lines on this side would have to go to that vanishing point. All right, so the tops and the bottoms, if I had another window here, I'm going to add this here. If I had a window here, the sides would be vertical, straight up and down. And then these sides, the top and the bottom here would be across, right? Across. And then there's a door at the bottom, same thing. Here's the door across. Now there's depth to this. All right, so this is that depth to this. So let me zoom in so you can see. There we go. Zoom in. We have this door here. Josh, are you in the house yet? If not, we can save those drawings for next week. Josh, no, Josh is not in the house. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. We're gonna do next. We're gonna be doing the Disney 100. All right, so just hold on once we finish this.
I put in a zillion logos so that he had a choice.
I saw them. Yeah, that's why he's going to have to choose which one. All right. So now there's a thickness to this barn, right? So we're going to get that thickness. So the bottom here, this point, this corner needs to go to that vanishing point. So I'm going to get my ruler and let me see. Oh, there we go. And go from this corner to my vanishing point. And again, just like this thickness of the barn, you have to decide how far back you're going to go with this line. This little line, no matter how small it is, has to go to that vanishing point over here on this side. And it's going to be just a little line like that. There we go. That little line right there. That's it. But it's going to the vanishing point. And then off from there, you just go straight up. You just go straight up. And that's the thickness of the barn. You're going to see that on the inside because you're standing over here on this side, on this left side. You're looking that way. You're looking that way, right? And you're actually, you're actually even here, you're looking down. You're actually looking down to the right, right? And that's the inside of the barn. Here, you're going to be looking up. So what's going to happen is we need this corner, this corner, the top right corner. This one's going to go to the vanishing point over here. So down, that's going to go down. There we go. So we're going to do this.
Eladio?
Yes.
You silly city boy. It's not a barn. It's a grain silo.
It's a grain silo. Well, here you go. Silos I always thought were like round. Yeah. But even still here, oh, we can even talk about that form. All right, grain silo. We fill it up. Fill it up with the grains. Now this little line here, it's going down to the vanishing point. This little line here is down to the vanishing point. Now all you're going to see is from here, depending on how thick this is, the wall is, but you would go straight down. I'm going to keep it thick. And then here you would go straight across. Right now, because you're looking up at this, because your eye level's here. This is your eye level, right? This is, we set our eye levels here. We're looking up at it. So this is the bottom of the inside of that wall. And then this is that side of the wall, the same side of the wall that we see over here. But we don't see the top side on this side right here because we're looking down on it. We're looking down on it. So these are just little things to kind of understand when you're doing perspective. I know it can get confusing. It's like, what? It's mind-blowing. But once you figure it out, it's like, oh, I get it. Yeah, because your lines should, it's really this, it's simple. The lines should either go straight up and down, across, or to the vanishing point. That's the only direction, unless you got angles. But those are the only directions your line should be going. And we'll keep doing this until you get it, right? Right, we'll keep doing this until you get it. So this is actually intermediate. I'm getting it a little bit more advanced. Now, this side here, this is what I saw you struggling with, Pearl. This is what I saw you struggling with on this side. Everything on this side, and I kind of did it last time. I kind of put the slats. Let me make the slats bigger. The siding. I'm gonna on this line right here. On this line right here, pay attention. On this line right here, there's equal spacing. I'm gonna go just equal spacing, kind of like there, all the way down this line right here, kind of like equal spacing. Now these are the points that need to connect to our vanishing point, because everything on this side is going back into space. Same thing up here too, this part up here. And even our roof, if we're going to put more things on our roof, all these I mean, this whole line here could have stuff, but that roof in our drawing, the drawing we're using does not. Right now, once you have all these points go to our vanishing point here, because what I saw you did, these lines kind of went all parallel. So here we go. We do our first line, it goes to the vanishing point here, straight down. It's going to the vanishing point. Next one, make sure it's going to the vanishing point here, from this point down. And if I continued it would go to that vanishing point. And as it moves down, the ruler kind of keeps turning down. It radiates. It radiates from this point. It's funny, even with sight, the way people thought sight worked, we thought that the light came from our eyes, and because we see it, that's what makes it. It's kind of interesting, all the theories that went around before Newton, or I don't know who really understood how light works and light bounces, and it's the light photons that are bouncing off the objects. But there you go. See all these lines here? All these lines are going towards the vanishing point. They look like they're parallel, but they're not. These lines are not parallel. They are not. I just put a quick shade on them. They're not parallel. They look like they're parallel, but they're not. They're actually, they get smaller as it goes back. That's what fools ya. It fools ya. Yep. 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 It's 550 years ago, more give or take. Yep. During the Renaissance is when they discovered perspective. Perspective. Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo. The only one that uses his first name, Da Vinci. All right, so all these lines here are going back to that line here. Let me see, am I doing it? Yeah, there we go. And every time I make a new line, I make sure that this point's here and then that point's there. Then back into space. Back into space. So this would probably be a good place to mention space pods. It's how artists create space, which is important to know before you actually even start doing this stuff. I know we're doing kind of intermediate stuff. I went over the beginning stuff. So if you're here, beginner and still hanging out, awesome. Congratulations. You are a warrior. You are a warrior. You're battling this out because it's not always easy. This is definitely a battle here, trying to figure this out, how things go on a flat surface, making it go back into space. That's a challenge. You're fighting your brain because your brain says it's flat. And you're like, no, it's not. It's going back into space. And I call it space pods placement. So things that are lower on your paper are closer. Things that are higher up are further back. That's P, space pods. That's the P. And space pods. Then you have O, you have overlapping. Things that are overlapping. Let's say we have a tree. Let me see, overlapping. I don't know what's going. There's overlapping. The building over here behind here is not overlapping. But there's another little building. Let's say there's a tree here. Let's put a tree overlapping. So overlapping is when something goes in front of something else. I'm going to put a tree right here. There we go. That's a pretty thick tree. They had thinner trees. There's that tree and it's going in front. That's overlapping. Oh, and let's use placement too. Let's bring it. Oh, actually placement would be, because it's in front, it needs to be lower than that building. Bring it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There's my trunk. Bring it down below that building because it's in front, right? There we go. You got to be aware of that, the placement. I've seen people make those mistakes where they do it higher up, but then they do it in front. So it's an optical illusion. Escher, MC Escher would do that. So there's our tree. We have O for overlapping, D for detail. Things just go back. They lose detail, less detail as things go back. And then you have the S. My favorite is size. And that's happening here automatically. Things that are further back are smaller in size. So if I were to do a tree further back, I would do it smaller, right? And we're using placement. If I want to do a little bit more overlapping, I could put another tree back here behind it, you know, as things go back into space. Yeah, placement, overlapping, detail, and size. Things that go back in space get smaller.
Eladio, on the lower structure, not the little thing on the top, but the tall thing. Is there a line that's going back into space that's going to be horizontal? All those lines. Well, yeah,
yes.
those lines. Which is
this one right here. It's on the horizon line. This one's horizontal. This one right here. This one's coming down. This line right here is horizontal. And then below this one, all the other lines, all these lines are going up. This one's horizontal because it's on the horizon line. You see that horizon line that I had drawn right there?
Yeah.
It's on the vanishing point right there. So this line right here, and that's tricky. Yeah, right in here, there's like little areas that get really tricky, and that's one of them. When things are like right at your eye level, I mean, you're looking at it straight, and it's like this line's straight, and you don't see that. Yeah, it's tricky in these areas. Those are tricky areas. But yeah, this line's straight, that one right there, because it's on the horizon line. This one's going down, and all these lines are going down. These lines are going up. Good question. Love questions. That's what it's about. That's why we're here. Ask questions. Be curious. How does this work? What is that? Why does it do that? All right. Let's do this building back here. All right, so this building here, I'm gonna just do it, just actually, it's really similar to the top of this silo. The top of the silo, we're gonna do down here as the house. So we're gonna just do a square with a triangle on top of it. That's the part that's facing us. So we have a square. If you got the same angle as this bottom part, that's fine. It could be straight across, it doesn't matter. But we're gonna do a square. The sides are straight up and down. Angles, wrap to draw. Ratios, same height, same width. That's a square. And then on top of it, you have a triangle, right? Angle. There's our front of our house. Ratios, same height, same width. That's the ratios. The angles are simple angles. We have a vertical angle and a horizontal angle. And then we have these diagonals that make the rooftop. Now, there's our 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Just like the silo, these 3 points are going to go to our vanishing point. Let's zoom in on that. There we go. So these 3 points are going to go to our silo. There we go. Let's start with the bottom one. And depends on how long this building is, how long this house is you can stop. Let's go to, but it would go to that vanishing point. Let's say it stops right about there. That's it. And sometimes you do get these weird perspectives and it's like, oh, you're fighting it. And yeah, it's just something you have to kind of like fight a little bit till you get it. So don't give up. Be patient, be persistent, be a warrior or a hero. Heroes help each other. Heroes know why they're drawing it. You might have a purpose. You're drawing a house. Maybe this is where you grew up. This is where you grew up. So you're a hero. You're going to show this drawing to somebody where I grew up. All right. Now, I did that line and then this line here. Why don't I do it just to do it? Because I already did it kind of just doing it. So this is our last line. There's only 3. Here's the rooftop, and this is going to the vanishing point over there. There we go. Somewhere in that direction. All right. Now, we have 2 more lines. See this line here? It echoes back here. This line going straight up and down, and then that way it echoes. So the easier one is this one. It's going straight up and down. So all we need is a line back here, depending on how far back we go. Same thing on this line here. That's the one that's on the ground, depending on how long this building is. But I have it here, so we're going to go straight up and down right there, straight up and down. No ruler right there, freehand. There it is. There's that. Bam. Now here is actually more. We're actually getting into construction and actually making things. This is actually fun because we could have, just like I made, a trash can. You can actually make this into all kinds of stuff. Right? Once you understand this building could be a giant trash can. This building could be a giant fudge brownie. No nuts, because I'm a little nutty. All right, so this
Peanuts are okay. I don't like walnuts. Most people put walnuts in their brownies.
Yeah, they do, huh? Most, yeah.
Oh, pecans. Someone should try pecans.
They said you should.
Candied pecans in your brownies.
Ooh, sugar high there. Watermelon high. Here we go. So now this angle here, this is when we want to copy it straight over here, right? Now this, here we go. We'll talk about, try to keep it simple. More or less going in that same angle. We want to bring that back till it hits this point right here, that point. That's the one we want. So we want to bring this angle back. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Right there. And then bam, there's the roof. The roof is on fire. All right, wow. And that's it. Look at that perspective. Bam, bam, bam. And now there's windows, the doors. The door here is really simple, straight up and down. It's closed, so there's no thickness to it like our silo. So these lines here are vertical, and then this line is horizontal because it's on the face, it's facing us, the face of the building. And then there's a window here as well. This face of this building is facing us. All right, there it is. Bam. And then now here's the tricky part. The windows on this side, the sides will be up and down, right? but the tops and the bottom have to go to the vanishing point. The tops and the bottom of this window here would go to that vanishing point. So I kind of did the sides already. These are vertical. Now this is tricky too, because these lines need to be straight up and down, straight up and down. I have students that always draw these at different angles as well. If you have something like this square, and I would probably be able to, this is a 90-degree angle here. So I would be able to put it against our horizon line. And see, it's a 90-degree angle to our horizon line. And all these lines here are straight up and down as well. I get students that always tilt them slightly, so be careful. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're just going to do the top and the bottom of these windows. The tops and the bottoms do go to that vanishing point because it's on that side. There we go. Bam, there's the top of that window, top of that window. See, going back into space. Ooh, it's on this line as well. Then the bottoms of the windows right there and right there. There's the bottom of those windows. Oops, let's bring it up a little bit. I think I might have shifted a little bit, but that needs to go to that vanishing point. Let's see. Ah, all right, little switch pencils here. All right, there we go. That's actually, ooh, and then just shading and detail. That's all it really is, shading and detail. There's a little more, there's little trees and little things in there. All right, Disney, 100 years. That's twice my age. All right, here we go. Actually, it's less than. I can't believe it. No, it's all good. Ah, I just lost my window. I was gonna put a tree. I'm putting a tree in here. So all the detail and stuff, all the detail is, the devil is in the details. Just kind of put them in there, put stuff in there if you want. And this is actually fun, but you know, it is time consuming, but if you're like rushed and you're like, you know, same thing as that, drawing those palms, you know, you can either get lost in it. It's like a puzzle, you know, sometimes I do puzzles and sometimes I have time and patience, and sometimes I don't have time and I'm like, I don't have time for this. And you're like, okay, leave that puzzle alone. And sometimes I can get lost in a puzzle. It's like, oh, okay, wow, you know, just get lost in it. So you got to know where you're at. Not lost in it, not lost with it. You're in the flow. All right, and there's a lot of shading. Oh, I didn't do shading here. I actually shaded that top. Shade this just really quickly. Some people were asking about shading. There's a couple ways to shade. You can want to start with hatching like this. This is hatching. Just making these hatch marks just back and forth. That's one way to shade. Another way to shade is circulars, just making little circles. And you want to hold your pencil down at an angle. If you're holding your pencil down, or if you have a mechanical pencil, you have your lines are going to show up more. But if you really work down your pencil, work it down, maybe on another sheet of paper, work that pencil down at an angle like this, you'll get smoother shading. Work your pencil down, work that tip down. And then as you shade, your shading will be smoother because you have more of a surface. See, that tip of that pencil is worn down at an angle, right? And I'm shading on that angle. It's like shading like this. But if you're shading like this, you have just that one point. But if you're shading with the whole, that surface, you'll get smoother shading, right? That's it. And there's grass and all kinds of stuff and I don't know, all that detail. And use your imagination. Put a little dog in here if you want to. I don't know, horse. Their little. Run, Lassie. All right, next drawing. Thank you for joining us. We got 20 people, 19 people here. Thank you for joining us. That's perspective. In a nutshell, it is challenging. It really is. We can keep doing it. Find a picture, put it up, and we'll do it. We'll do it.
Would you just zoom in on the doggy, please?
Sure, it's just it's right in there. That's as close as I can get. It's just a silhouette of a dog. I mean, it's really small. Nothing spectacular. I mean, if a person, I'm looking at scale wise, scale and proportion, right? They actually kind of go together. How big would a person be? Person would be probably that big right in here. There's the head, circle, square torso, pelvis, and then the legs. Right. And see, this is from our figure drawing class. There it is. There's our farmer John, farmer Juan. Oh, you didn't see him. He's right there. I was so close. You didn't see that I had drawn our farmer as well. Farmer in the Dale. It's all good. There it is. Yeah, that's small. I mean, I can put let's see, do I have, oh, here's a penny. I can put a penny and you can see how big our farmer is in scale. There he is. There's Abraham. See, it's as big as a penny, which is really small, actually. Actually, kind of drawing small here. All right, let's get to our next drawing. Ooh, Disney 100. All right, Josh, you're gonna have to tell me which one we're gonna draw. It's 7:57. It's almost your time to go. Sorry. Let's see. I didn't know you were here. Okay, got that one. Did you want to draw the castle or which one? There was one with the, yeah, those.
This one, the one with Mickey and Minnie.
This one. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I'm sharing it. That one. Okay. Oh, I think last week's was clearer. Let me see if it was here. I think, yeah, we had, I have that one open. Yeah, last week's was clearer. Let me see the Mickey and Minnie one. All right, so we'll draw Mickey and Minnie. And there's the lucky rabbit. Oh yeah, the pictures from last week were clearer. Here, this one. We're gonna copy image address. Let's throw it in the chat. Actually, paste it. All right, we'll do this Mickey Minnie. Now, all this detail and stuff is really challenging. We'll just draw Mickey Minnie. There we go. Mickey Minnie, pretty much circle heads. They've got circle heads, cone heads, circle heads. So we're gonna get the circles in here. Let me see. Here we go. I'll just break those down. There's one circle there, one circle here, and then the bodies. There's a slight angle to them. Oops. And select tool. There's that one. Move this over. There it is. Circle, and then you can see the cheeks. The way the cheeks stick out and the chin sticks out. Let's do this one over as well. Let's make this one a little bigger. Right there. Right there. All right. Now I'm going to break it into fourths. That really helps. We're going to use the fourths. Last week was fourths. May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And that helps because that helps with proportions and there's a slight angle to it. Slight. Actually, yeah, you can see one cheek a little bit higher, one a little bit lower. But I think that's about the middle. Then this is the middle as well. If I break that into fourths, that really helps. Then here you can see where this comes down to the middle of this side. This is broken down. This is a fourth as well, right? And that's where the mouth is. So you got to see these relationships. It's a puzzle. And again, if you don't have the patience, joy comes from solving problems you want to solve. If you don't want to draw this, you don't want to solve this, it's going to be a challenge. And then here the body, notice the angle, that axis line, there's a slight angle to that one. This one's a little more straighter. That leg kind of comes at that angle, and then at that angle. Notice these angles. Let's get those axis lines. There we go. That torso and then that hand and that angle, shoulder. And then that hand right there. Bam. All right, let's do this. There's something in the chat. That's it for me tonight. Thanks. You're welcome, Alexis. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna do Disney. We'll probably draw something else as well. Here we go. Let's do this. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, feel free to come and go anytime you want. I don't take roll anymore. Thank God. That was always a pain. Oh my gosh, that was such a pain in the butt. And then students coming in late. Oh my gosh. No consequences for them either. No, I don't know. If I was the king of the forest, it's okay to be late. Sometimes you're late. It's fine. It's so what? So then if you're late, just stay after class a minute or however long late you were. But I don't know. There wasn't any consequences. They tried. They tried. It's hard. It's just fighting this. It's fighting this. I don't know. Anyways, no more fighting. Shakira says. All right, let's do this. Stop the sharing. Let me open mine up. I really captured, I didn't read that. You really captured the dog with very little shading. Yeah, thanks. Best lesson on perspective ever. Thank you. I'm an eternal beginner. That's so awesome. Having that beginner mindset, because then you're open to like, okay, how can, and making sure you have a strong foundation. If you're having that eternal beginner, you kind of like, okay, what did I miss? Like, how can I get it? And you really build a strong foundation, and you're just like, okay, I get this. I get it. I get it. Because sometimes it's okay to forget. Your brain forgets. Your brain forgets. All right, let's do this. All right. Let's do mini first, little mini. I'm going to do my circle here. And then I can see that the arm is going to be here. This is going to help just by doing it this way. It's going to help see the distance between Mickey and Minnie, because that's a challenge. Seeing the placement, because your proportions could be right, but the placement will be off. You know, the spacing between Mickey and Minnie. So we have a circle. Then we have that angle of her body. I did put an angle. Well, that's mostly the angle of the leg. She looks pretty symmetrical. Mickey's definitely leaning over. But let's draw her hand. Her hand is like in this space right in there. And his hand, oh, let's zoom out. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, let's go over the questions. Oh, these are, in what ways, this is Tuesday's questions. In what ways are AI, AI is being part of it. I don't know if I answered all of them. What is new and popular AI is? Draw from a place from non-judgment. Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, because we are judging. And I didn't really mention that. Every time you draw, you're judging, you're making judgments. But being critical, that's the thing you don't want to be. You don't want to be critical. Drawing from a place from, because it's easy to be, oh, you drew this too high, too little, and that's where you really get too critical, and you get paralysis from analysis. You're over being too critical with it. All right, so this hand's a little bit higher, a little bit bigger. You know, you are making a judgment here. We are making a judgment call. Then Mickey's head is about as big as hers. Is it higher or lower? It's probably about the same spot. His ears are a little bit higher. His head is a little bit higher. I'm looking at the relationship. So once I have the hands, I can see how the hands relate. And then the head for Mickey should be, yeah, because the ears behind that hand. The head should be right about there, I'm assuming. And then we have his body at an angle. And then you'd have the hundreds. But I'm not going to worry about the hundreds. We're just going to draw Mickey and Minnie. And that's about as big. And try to, maybe you can, if you want to, get a pencil, measure that, bring it over, bring it up a little higher. So because the heads are about the same size, right in there. All right, let's do this. Right in there, right in there. And he's at an angle, and his arm there, and his arm this way and this way. And I can draw this hand as an oval. There's that hand. That's the Papa shape. And then I can break it into the medium-sized shapes and the other shapes. Like this Papa shape. The height to the width. Oh, this is good. This torso is almost a square in here, so maybe a little bit longer. And then in here, the belly kind of coming, and there's a slight angle. You want to see the big shapes, the middle-sized shapes, which is like, you know, there. That kind of helps as well. And we can bring that over as well here for her. Bottom of him is the bottom of her dress. She's got that bell shape. All right. I blocked it all out. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going to fit. If it didn't, I can start over, and without doing too much of an investment in stuff. And here's a hand right here, about that big, right in there. See that circle right in there? That's about the angles, and there's that hand right in there. That other hand over here. And let's zoom in on Minnie. Let's do Minnie, and then we'll do Mickey, and that's it. All right, let's break this into fourths. Use the fourths. There we go, half and a half. And the mouth is all right. The mouth is right at the middle of that fourth. So right in here on the half of this line, right there. That's where that mouth comes, and it goes out and just comes up slightly. Just there's a slight curve up right in there, right up in here. And then it comes down below our line here. So it comes down below our line a little bit, and then comes back up. Oops. There we go. Minnie mouth. This is Minnie's mouth. All right, that's how it fits in that space. Then the nose fits in here as well, under the half, right in that space, right in between that is that nose in that space, a little oval shape. Let's zoom in. Oh, that's good. You can see how big that is compared to a penny. It's pretty small. I'm drawing kind of, I don't know, small, but it's all good. We're zoomed in. And right over this is the right at the middle. Right at the middle. I would probably say right at the middle is this little curve right in there like that. Then the mouth, little curvy line for the mouth right in there and right in there as well to get those cheeks. And then off center. So if we have the center here on this side and the center on this side, the eyes are actually closer in on the inside, not on the middle line. It's they're a little bit closer. So if you're looking from here to here, find that center. That eye is just on the inside of that, and it's right in there like that. Thicken that up. No eyelashes. Oh, she's got big eyes. That's what she's got. She's got big eyes. All right, there we go. And then she's got a little tongue. Can't see it, but it's okay. Let me see. I should move it. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, I was gonna do. It's kind of like a heart shape. It's got a little dent in it like this. This comes in around like a little bean shape. That's the tongue. That's it. Then it's got a chin or a little lip. I don't know. It's probably a lip. That's a little bit of a lip kind of coming down right in there. There we go. And then she's all eyes. She's all eyes. So this is the top of her head, that circle shape. And then the eyes kind of come in. It's a little complex there. See if I can simplify it. Simplify. All right, let's do the cheeks first. All right, let's do the cheeks first. So there's cheeks in here that kind of come around the mouth. Cheeks kind of come around the mouth, kind of like that. And they go underneath this lip. Right there. See? Now you can see how it, like that circle really helped with this drawing. Just fits right in there. Bam. See, right at the halfway point. Getting the proportions, everything where it goes, placement. Now let's get these eyes, really big eyes. They kind of go inside this circle. So I'm gonna have to bring them in. I think, yeah, there we go. Kind of goes inside the circle. Down to a point, like a little heart shape. Bam. There. Now, all right, yeah, that's good. That's a good simplification. Because then now we need to add the eyelashes. Okay, so with this mini, this that's all, folks. This is this is the eyelid. That's an eyelid right there. See these eyelids. So that goes that way. Try to curve it. I almost straightened it out a little bit. Try to a little bit of a curve. Maybe a little bit higher up here as well. Curve, and then the eyelashes go on here. There's eyelashes on here. So her eyelashes go on here. There's 3 of them with a slight curve. 1, 2, and a 3. Right there. And then this is eyelid. Shaded in a little bit. Then on the other side, 1, 2, and a 3. There we go. Eyelashes. That's it. There's Minnie. See, the back of her head is round right there. And then, all right, let's add it. So this is still part of the circle. Our first circle in here. That should be right in here. This is the head. And this is dark. This is all dark. So I'm going to shade it. Try to get it as round as possible. Might sticks out here a little bit. Just flatten it a little bit. There we go. Just do the best you can. It's all about the practice. And if you can, try it on your own, that's best. Say, oh, wow. This is how he did it. And then you do it on your own by observing and looking and seeing. The video will be up tomorrow. All right, let's get those ears in there. All right, now the ears, on top of the ears is the bow. So I need to make sure the ears are in first. And then the bow, I'm going to do it lightly. Then the bow's on top of that. The bow is on top of the ears. So there's my ears. The thumb goes over the ear as well. So I got to be careful on that. So I'm going to block them in. I'm going to sketch them in, and then I'll draw the hand as well. But I'm not going to draw it. And the bows are big. I can actually see it together as one shape, one big shape like this. See that one big shape? That's the big papa shape. Then the mama shape would then start breaking that down into smaller shapes. So this comes down kind of like from that corner down to this corner, see? And then there's a little knot of that bow at the top of that head right there like that. Right, so it just kind of curves out. See, seeing that big shape really helps. And being able to focus back and forth, what are you focusing on? What's your focus? Focus. Here we go. This goes over. Oops, it goes over the ear. See the ears, a circle shape underneath. We'll erase that or not shade it in. And then there's more circles, even baby shapes. These baby shapes. This is the little polka dots on the bow. These are baby shapes. Don't worry about the baby shapes, baby. Oh. All right. There we go. How many people got? 18. Oh, that's pretty good. We got some hardcore heroes. All right, let's do a hand. Somebody asked about hands, drawing hands. Well, here we are. We're drawing hands. Well, hands, there's two parts to it, the palms and the fingers. The palm is about the same size as the fingers. The palm is here, a circle shape. So I'm going to do that circle shape right in there. See, the fingers will probably bring them up a little bit more. But there's my palm right in there. And then the angle is going to, the hand is going to come down at an angle there, and then come down at an angle there. I can see that. And then she's got a whole part of her dress right in there. And I'm just sketching it. Whoa. What was that? Something outside. Oh, interesting. Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna have to check tomorrow. All right. So I'm kind of blocking things in really lightly, and I can do this really quickly. Right now I'm going slow, but I can do this really quickly, and you should be able to do that quickly too. I'm going slow. At first, everything's slow at first. When you're first drawing, I might be fast or it might be slow, and it's all relative. You just compare yourself to yourself. The more you practice, the faster you get. And then you start seeing these shapes and start doing it. But, it's okay to go slow. If I'm going too fast, I apologize. You can watch the video, pause it, play it, rewind it. But there we go. See, I just blocked everything in. The little dress. And there's the hand. I like the way it is. There's that hand too. It was just an oval shape. I'll go back in there right now and work on that. Let's do this hand. Let's zoom in on it because hands are tough. All right, so I can, just like the pedal. Okay, look at, there's going to be a thumb right here. There's one. There's 3 fingers. One's going to be right in here. I'm just looking at the one finger there and then another finger there. That's it. So it looks like a claw. Looks like, now to draw the parts. This thumb curves back like a little bean, it's going to curving back, and then it goes forward, and then it attaches itself right in there like that. Looks like a teapot right there. And then this finger here, this side's a little straighter, And then this side curves a little bit more like that, kind of like a knife. And then it comes down and there's a little bit of webbing. There's a little bit of webbing. So that comes over, a little bit of webbing. And this side's again straight. And then this side curves a little bit more like a knife. And it didn't, I don't know, I think I lost the placement. But that's okay. That was just a placeholder just for fun, for a guide. Now that I have those two fingers up, I can see, okay, this other finger is going to go in here. A little straighter and then a little more of a curve. There it is. And then the palm of the hand. Bam. And then the inside palm. There's that that part. There's the hand. Tucked to the hand. And then there's a little bit of a rib or a little bit of a, I don't know, the glove right in there as it attaches itself. And let's see, how's that coming along? Right. There it goes. There's the hand. Now I can draw the ears. I can get those ears in there. And it's because it's behind this hand. Overlapping. Talked about overlapping earlier. Overlapping, one of the ways artists create space. This ear is behind this hand. And the ear is behind the bow. Overlapping. Right? It's a 3D puzzle. You thought puzzles were hard. This is a 3D puzzle. But once you get it, it's like, oh, I got it. Oh man. Sometimes it's a struggle. You don't get those mans if you don't struggle. If it's easy, it's easy. You'll get bored. But if it's a little slight challenge and you want to take on that challenge, it's like, oh, I got it. You're like, I got it. I get it. Right. Take those challenges on. Take on the challenge. Be that warrior. Yeah, sometimes it's easy. There's learned helplessness. You can say, I can't. You get the can'ts in the pants. And it's a psychological thing. It really is. They've studied it. They did a terrible, they used to do it, they did a terrible psychology, psychological experiment on dogs where they had a floor electrified and the dog would jump to the other side of the floor, the other side of the box. But then they electrified both sides and the dog just figured, there's no use. There's both sides are electrified. But they would only electrify one side, but the dog didn't do anything. He thought, it's just learned helplessness. Same thing with elephants too. They're big, strong animals. When they're young, they put chains on them and everything. And then afterwards, they don't even need a chain, just with a rope. Because they just learned that they can't get out, they can't escape. But they're these big, mighty animals. Huge, mighty animals. We forget our strengths because we get, then we believe we can't. You got to break out of that box. If you think you can, you can't. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Sometimes it's a struggle, but you can get it. You can get it. Just gotta fight the good fight. Fight the good fight every minute, every moment, every day. And sometimes you don't feel like it. I understand. I've been there. I do that. Take a break. But be back at it. Be back at it. You can lose the battle, but the war, it's a long-term game. Just let it go. Let it go. Got to learn to let go. Oh, I didn't get my drawing tonight. That's okay. Let it go. I did the best I could. Learn to let go too. I did the best. I think the eyes, like I'm looking back and forth, I think the eyes could be a little bit closer. I can fix that. See, sometimes you can fix things. Sometimes you can't. See, I make it a little bigger, a little closer. Looking back and forth, trying to fix my puzzle. I think I almost gave her lipstick there. All right, let's finish her up. Let's zoom out. Bam. She's all right, I think. Something's slightly off. Not a big deal. All right, so here's that shoulder. It curves up, it curves out. Put a loop there. Then her dress goes out and in. So trying to capture that this shape, this form, this some, what is this, like a pear shape, this pear shape. And then this, that cross section, just like the cross section where we're doing the forms. That's it right there. See that form right there? That's that cross section. Look at that right there. Same thing. Cross secting line, which actually two of them, we'll put two up a little higher. She's got a little belt or something. And then she's got the more polka dots on the dress down here. Polka dots. Let's finish this dress. Ooh, there's overlapping of that. Let's do the overlapping. Let's zoom in a little bit. There's overlapping of this hand, this finger. All right, so you know that's really close to that circle. This pinky that sticks out on this side just comes up and over like that, like this U shape, and then the palm comes up and around right there like that. All right. And then you can see a little bit of the other finger going behind here, behind the dress. And then you have the little rib of the glove, and then that elbow, and then back. There's that hand. Thicken it up a little bit. There we go. And I don't know if it's a long glove or no, it's all dark right in here. Then it goes light. That's it. That looks good. I'll zoom back. It's not too shabby. You don't see the feet though, because they're behind that circle shape. But she's kind of got clogs. Big shoes, wooden shoes almost. Like Danish. Solvang. Solvang. All right, you see the back of the dress here, a little bit of a back of the dress, a little bit of a curve. We'll put that in there. Then the feet. And yeah, she's not going to have any shoes. We can widen it up. I don't know. Shoes, what are we going to do? Put a line underneath. Say, yeah, there's a circle. I don't know. Put a little, she's standing behind something. That's a mean cheat. Well, we'll just do that. I know she's got, her shoes are kind of cloggy, and I know they kind of look like this. And there's these big, well, I would probably, yeah, do them like this. But, yeah, I don't see him. Yeah, I know she's got these big shoes. Same thing with Mickey, little heels on them. Yeah, shoes with heels were first worn by men because of the horse. They used to ride horses, and that would go on the stirrups. There we go. There's with shoes. All right, let's get Mickey here. All right, oof, Mickey Mouse in the house. All right, let's break that into fourths. And see how we're doing on time. 8:24. Well, probably lost Josh. He usually goes to bed at 8. So hopefully you can see this in the video, Josh. All right, if not, sorry.
Be around that night.
Oh, you're here. Good. Oh, you're going to not bed at 9? All right. You're in my thoughts. All right, so I'm making sure the circle is bigger than this one, just slightly. Actually, it's about the same size. It should be up a little bit higher. Yeah, making sure it's about the same size. Let's see. Use my pencil as a measuring instrument. Go over here. Yeah, so it's probably a little bigger. I can make it smaller, but that's good enough. That's pretty good right there. Let's break it into fourths. Okay, fourths, like a pizza pie, 4 slices. 4 slices of pizza. Same thing as mini. Really the same. Let me see. Yeah, it's just he doesn't have the. His eyes are a little bit closer, even closer, slightly closer. But it's pretty much the same face. It is the same face. So here we go. Let's do this again. Halfway point, right there, halfway. We're gonna come up in this space. Oops. Get that smile right there. I think I brought it down a little bit from my halfway point. That's okay. Get the cheek lines. Cheek lines. Notice how it fits. Then that nose fits inside this, between the halfway of our circle and the lip inside. That's where that nose is. I can go there. I can make it a little bit wider, a little bit bigger. So it fits just right. So I can keep adding to it, making it a little bigger, like adding clay. Yeah, so if you start small, it's okay to start small. Then you can just keep adding to it, make it bigger. And then here we go with the mouth. Bring it down. There you go. Bring it up. And it does actually should go outside that that circle shape a little bit. That's okay. Here we go. Give him a tongue as well, just like Minnie. A little heart shape, little kidney shape right in there. Shade all that in. Bam. Yes, there's Mickey's mouth. Mickey's mouth. Mickey's mouth. That's funny. Mickey Mouse's mouth. Tongue twister. All right, so there's that bottom lip right in there. Here we go. Let's get those cheeks. They do stick out of our circle a little bit, and then they go under that lip. Slightly go under that lip, right in here. Right. There's those cheeks. Yeah, some of the Mickeys are really hard to draw. Just the shape. The shape is really, it's really a challenge. I've drawn many a Mickey. Some of them are really challenging. This one's breaking it down pretty easy.
That's where they get the big bucks.
Yeah.
Guys who work for Disney. He poached every cartoonist that he could.
Yeah.
He was really something, really a real shark.
Yeah. Businessman.
People have such a different, yep.
Business. Same thing with Steve Jobs. Yeah. Go. There's that top of the nose, because it does stick out. Put that there, and then the eyes. See, there's the middle. Make sure it's on the inside of that middle, inside of the middle. So just really quickly, you can do it light, and then once you think it's right, then you go darker. You can go bigger. And that builds your confidence too. Sometimes, you go light. It's okay. It's okay to be not sure. You just go light, and then you're sure, then you go darker. Same thing. You start off slow, and then once you get more confidence, you go faster. Right? When you're treading unfamiliar waters, you're gonna go slower, and that's okay. Sometimes we're really hard on ourselves, harder on ourselves than I know. Oh, I know. Oh God, I heard somebody speaking to like, oh, I'm such a dummy. I'm like, no, don't say that. I mean, be nice to yourself. And it's okay to make mistakes. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard. But I guess the first step in solving that problem is being aware of it. I'm like, oh, okay, be nicer to myself. Okay, I'll get it next time. I won't get not yet. I'm not getting it now. I'll get it eventually. And it's just and doing it for fun. Hey, it's all right. It's the ups and the downs. And then you can really appreciate having the skill. It's like, oh wow, I remember. And if you save your drawings, the bad ones, then you're like, oh wow, remember I used to draw like that. Now I draw like this. And you can say, it's the journey. It's the journey. It's all about the journey. That's the warrior, the hero's journey. All right, I'm going to do the ears. There's one ear there really lightly, another ear over here lightly, right in there at the, let's get that ear in there. That's good size. And then the thumb overlapping again as well. Thumb overlaps. The hand, the palm, and then the fingers, again, just like minis. I'm going a little faster. So we did this already. There's one finger there, and the other finger there, really close together. Probably closer than I'd like, but that's okay. I can see it and adjust it slightly if I need to. But that's it. There's the 3 fingers and the thumb, the palm. And there's the ears, arm. He is slightly, there's a slight angle to his body. Let's angle it a little bit more. See this angle, I'm bringing it over a little bit more. And I'm just doing it really lightly till I feel that it's right. Maybe bring it up a little more. Try to get the feel of that shape. And then this leg here, there's a bend in it. And then this leg is a little bit straighter. And he's got one shoe there, and I don't know, maybe another shoe here at slight angle. I don't know. I don't know what his feet look like. We should look it up. I don't know. I'm running out of battery though. We'll just draw him, and I think we might just call it a night. Let me see what else we got though. I don't know if there's a drawing that moves me, I'll take it on. If not, we'll just move on. We'll move on. All right, let's do this hand. There's the palm. Then I'm going to go around little bulby fingers like that. There is a little bit of a curve to them. A little bit of a curve to them. A little bit of a curve to the fingers. And there's a little bit of a the digit, that thickness of the padding of the finger is also kind of there. Here's the palm. The thumb padding is actually facing up, and the backside is straighter, slightly straighter as it comes around like that. There we go. Bam, there's that hand. Then the ear is going to be behind it. Here's a little bit of that rib, the glove. And the arm goes actually right against the cheek, even underneath it, right there. So all this is going to be shaded. The ear, I'm happy with it, but let's delineate it. Let's see, I can trace it now. Say, okay, there's my ear. Right here, being careful with the tangents, how it attaches. There we go, right there. See, I made an adjustment. I'm not going to go as dark. I'm just going to click on this. Well, maybe I'll give it another pass. Ooh, I left a little bit of a highlight at the top of it. This was a little bit more of an oval shape. It's not as round. There's a little bit more of an oval shape, which is it's there. It's there. Let me make this edge here a little bit sharper. Bam, right in there. Oh, well, that's what I did. Let me see. Where's my eraser? Almost giving him like a lipstick. Ah, here it is. On her too. She's got like a little tip on the lip. Right. And him too. That was our measuring for the quarter. That's it. Oh yeah, that's a good Mickey. Let's shade all that in real quick. And here's the body, the torso. Same thing, that pear shape. The buttons, they echo the eyes. Big buttons. Causing rhythm, causing pattern, causing repetition. And then the shorts, they stick out a little bit. There's a curve at the bottom. Curve at the bottom. It's curving. For the shorts. And the pants, it opens up right there. The pants gonna come in right there. There we go. And the shorts open up. Just like that. Somewhat a little bit of overlapping there with that line. All right, I think that's good. Show that torso. There's a little bit of a bend in this knee over here. Bend. I don't know what kind of shoes he has. Let me see. Mickey shoes. I'm gonna have to look it up. Let's do some research. Mickey shoes. Mickey. I can just probably do Mickey Mouse and his shoes will come up. There he is. Oh, that's it. Oh, they're just bean shapes. So for his shoes, he's got pretty simple. He's got like here it would be the a rib, and then a bean. That's all. That's all it is. It's a little bit wider at the front and a little bit thinner in the back. Oh, bring that up. So that bean shape for the shoe. Same thing with this one. It's kind of at that angle. This one's I'd have it coming forward a little bit because it's kind of stretching out. It's got this angle here. Kind of making them up. Puro Mickey Mouse. Puro Mickey Mouse. Aquí estamos haciendo puro Mickey Mouse. All right, so here we go. The bottom. There's the bottom, and then you've got that little rib as well. Goes around. It's attached. And then this foot. Look, let's bring it forward. There's a slight angle to it. Slight angle. I think that's pretty good right there. Made it bigger. All right, let's get this hand in here. This hand is complex because we got a thumb right here. It is like an oval shape. We got the thumb, and then it's kind of foreshortening. There's some foreshortening going on. There's the palm. This is the thumb, which is another oval. Palm, part of an oval, the way it's attached. And then you've got these fingers kind of shooting out over. You've got the pointer finger kind of shooting out and over. Then underneath that, you've got the middle finger. And then in the back here, you have the pinky, or I guess that would be the pinky, like that. All right, so let's go ahead and draw those in. Actually, push that up. See, I pushed that up a little bit. It's because of the flow of that top finger. And then there's a rib, little rib from the glove. Get that hand in there. Angles, angles. Almost there, almost home. All right, we'll take a quick look and see what other pictures we have. See if there's anything that interests me. If not, as I feel my battery's draining. I don't know, it's a couple hours of drawing. All right, thanks for joining us. Here it goes. MIC. See you real soon. KUY. Why? Why? Because we like you. MOUSE. Yep, I was raised by the TV. There we go. Television, good old boob tube. I tried watching good stuff. All right, I tried watching good shows. All right, there we go. Yep, no, we didn't have The Simpsons growing up, less alone Family Guy. That's before my time. No, actually after my time. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna go share my screen. Let's see what we got here. Where? Let's see, is my browser. Is this it? Yeah, there it is. See what else we've got. For suggestions. See what else. See if it motivated me to do something else. Oh, this is interesting. To weather the storm, simply telling others to repair their boat is no longer enough. You gotta, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. That's a picture and quote from an article by Oliver Blum. Oh, the now extinct Lord God bird. We can draw this really quick. I think I can draw that really quick. Just a quick sketch. Look at that. That's a painting. That's fantabulous. The Lord God bird, 2 of 3. And then we've got, there's the.
Bye, Lalo.
All right, Josh, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
And then, this one's really cool, but I don't think we have time for this. This is definitely really cool. Notice how they break it down into angles. You get your horizontal, vertical, and your angles, diagonals. And
Last week, someone requested a mandala.
Yeah, mandala. So there's one. I don't think this is going to take a while. There's a lot of detail, but you can see how they break it down into big shapes and then the smaller shapes, the details that go inside it. The structure. I mean, all this is structure. All that's the structure right there, the structure. And then they just, inside that structure, they put the medium and mama shapes and the baby shapes. Yeah, and a really nice color. Yeah, really nice color job on it. The mandala. And then we got a shoe. We got mini shoe.
Someone requested shoes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for doing that, man. I really appreciate it. But I don't know. Actually, well, we got 15 minutes. Let me see how much I can do. Well, this will definitely, I don't know if this person is here. Let's see, anything in the chat? No. No. All right, let's just go ahead and do this bird real quick. I'm gonna just draw it out. Here we go. Oh, I can point out some things. Definitely the circle. I always use the circle for the head right in there. And we can use that as a kicking off point. There's the circle for the head right in there. Then you can see how it points out the triangles and the beak. And then, oh, all right, I see it's, you're drawing this upside down, Justin. Then we can see the neck here is about a head space. The body is about three head spaces. There you go. Oh, you're drawing still upside down. All right, you wanted to share? Okay, we can do that. And then the angle.
Sorry about that. I was actually trying to flip through my sketchbook. I guess
Oh.
my camera lens caught it. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We used to share. I haven't really been sharing much. If anybody wants to share their drawings, you can share. All right, so let's. I'm just gonna do this really quick. Actually, I'm gonna draw this really fast. So if you can stay on top, you can stay on top. If not, it's all right. Let's see. Let's do this really quick. All right, it's good to practice. So here we go. There's my circle head. The neck is about the same circle space, and there's a slight taper or curve for that, and it comes back. And I think I'm gonna run out of space for the body because the body is pretty big. But the beak is at this angle here, and then here's this beak for the hair. A little bit of in and out as it curves. There we go. Trying to capture that form. Trying to capture the form of that bird, how far this beak goes out and how thick it is, the thickness, right about there. That looks about right. The eye is going to be right about there. You see, I can see that. I don't have to draw the quarters and stuff like that. I kind of see where it's at. I see my circle. I see it without having to draw it. Right. And you can get there. You'll get there eventually. Practice seeing it, practice doing it. There's the eye. And then around it, bird's eye view. There's our bird's eye, and then we've got a now extinct, the poor now extinct Lord God bird. All right, so another little thing around it, and then it's like a woodpecker. It's got that kind of cut in like that. Yeah, nice. Oh, and when shapes and forms flow, this got really nice flow. Look at it. I mean, and the way it tapers, this shape tapers. I mean, it tapers back. Oh, I can feel it. See, I can feel that shape right there. And then it tapers in and curves around that and curves around. Yeah. It feels good. It feels right. Feels right. I think bring that down a little bit more. Right about there. Bam. Lord God. Lord God, help us. Help us, help us. Helter Skelter. All right, then the wing here, this wing, it sticks out a little bit right in there, and it's got this shape right in there. So it sticks out just slightly. Has this shape. And then the foot and the claw, the talons. Got a little bit of talons, but we're out of space down here. I'm gonna put a little bit of a talon. So it's just a little bit of a hook. But notice how it tapers. It's a shape. It's a shape. It goes from thick to thin. Don't do a banana. Well, yeah, but kind of like a banana. But don't do a, what, I don't know. I'm trying to think of. Don't do that. It goes thick. It goes from thin to thick, like that. Don't do that. Do this. That's what I see. Beginners do these talons, claws like that, curve. Oh, and there's a little bit of a padding. That's the underside, the underbelly. Not that big. But yeah, it's learning to see, you know, how these shapes are constructed, how they're made, how they're put together. Made in Mexico. All right, we still got some more designs on this, this bird up in here, I'm about to lose my mind. There we go. All right. We're getting to my kind of hey. There's the beak, a little beak shape, kind of curves in like that. And all this is shaded. And I'm shading it flat. I can give it more form, but it's good to just shade it flat first, but I lost the design here. There's another design that goes in here. And there's like little scribbles in it too. But what's cool is I can always go darker, even though I shaded it. Yeah, this goes back like that. And then this goes onto that. I can go darker here. See, nothing's ever really white. See, even though I shaded that by accident, I can go back in there and erase it, but I don't want to practice my erasing. I want to practice my drawing, my shading. See, I can bring this lighter as it comes back down. Get this backside darker. And nobody will know the difference. I can even shade this red part. A little bit of shade in there. A little shade on the beak. There we go. There's our bird. And that's how I did it. That's how I do it. You can do it too. Just practice. Yeah, and this is where I would probably use, because I'm doing shading, I'd probably use different pencils. There's drawing pencils. You have, you know, the darker pencils, HB. This is a 3H. That's lighter pencil. I do have, I have this. This is, this is actually pretty cool. This shades pretty nicely. It's a 2B, I think it is, 3B. It's pretty dark, darker than a B for shading. Yeah. All right, I'm done with my bird. All right, any comments, questions, complaints? Let's stop recording. Thank you for joining us. All right, good night, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Regina. All right, let's stop.